You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
Are you ready for an incredible year? Here is what I know for sure. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Your best days are not behind you. They are ahead of you. I love what Dr. Maxwell Maltz says. He says, let's be nostalgic for the future, not the past. Welcome to Possibilities with me, Hina Khan. I've been a success coach for well over a decade. And after working with hundreds of clients, here's what I've come to know. The only thing holding us back from a larger, more expansive life is our mindset. I'm going to help you break through your mental barriers and unlock infinite possibilities. When I would create goals that were 12 months out, I felt like I had all the time in the world. And that would work against me because I would procrastinate. I would also fool myself into thinking that I needed to do more research, speak to more people, learn more, etc. You get the idea. And then I would only really start moving when the year was coming to an end. So, for me, making the timeline shorter changed everything, and that's where the 90-day intervals come in. Here's what I want you to do. Think about what you want to create this year. Start with the whole year. What do you want to create? Now, think about the next 90 days. What if you could accomplish what you want to create in the year in the next 90 days? Don't be surprised if your mind starts to limit you because it thinks you can't do much in that time. And I am here to call BS on that because you can. Just recently, one of my clients admitted that, you know what her goal is? What she truly, truly desires is to be a motivational speaker. I said, I love that. When do you want to do it? She said, I'd love to do a TED Talk in 5 years. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, Lord, 5 years? That's a long time out. But then I remembered in a couple of weeks, we have an event called Clients Got Talent. And I said, in your slot of 4 minutes, do a motivational talk at Clients Got Talent. Well, you could see the change in her face as she processed doing what she thought she would do in 5 years and doing an element of it in the next 2 weeks. But she said yes. She said yes, and she got moving on it. And she delivered such a powerful 4-minute talk. But here's the best part. She started moving on her idea. That created momentum for her, and she has started to apply for TED Talks. And she's also gotten a coach that specializes in this area. Wow. So what she thought would take her 5 years because she had to get ready, she was ready now. And she allowed herself to receive everything she needed, and she moved into action, and she created momentum. And I am telling you, I know she will be doing a TED Talk this year. My first question to her, which is my first question to you, is what do you want? What do you really want to create? Creating is the key here. We think about what we can create because it's creation that helps us grow. And that's what we're going to be involved in day to day. The tasks of creating. It's kind of like climbing Mount Everest. You don't spend much time at the top. Not that I would know, but it's what I hear, is that you don't spend that much time at the top. The work is in preparing for the climb, getting to the peak, all the summits along the way, what you learn about yourself, your body as you climb the mountain. We learn from the journey. The purpose of a goal is to grow, not to get. Now, here is the most important part. You must optimize your environment to support you. Your current environment is set up for your current results. If you want different results, you've got to change things up in your environment: physical, social, and emotional. When you think about your 90-day goal, would that be accomplished in your current physical environment? I'm not saying you have to move out, but do you need a different space to work? Do you need to rent an office for a couple of hours or go to a coffee shop? Or if health is your goal and you usually work out at home, do you need to join a gym? Look around your environment right now. Seriously. Look up and look around. Does it support your goal? How about your social environment? Open up your calendar on your phone. Do you have some commitments that were made before you got clear on your 90-day goal, and it will actually interfere with what you want? Maybe it's a distraction. Maybe it's an energy drain. You could even let people know that you are working on something, and that will take your attention for the next 90 days. And you'll connect with them after that. I just did this. I had somebody that called me that wanted to share something with me and wanted to know if we could set up a call. And I said, yeah, we can, after 90 days. Are there other things that would benefit you? Maybe you want to attend some networking events. Maybe there are things that you want to put into your calendar. One of my clients was able to double her business over a short period of time because she changed her social environment to fit her goals. Here's what happened. She was the main person to drive her kids around to their extracurricular activities, but it was taking a lot of her time. Her schedule was around her family schedule. But her and her husband had a business together, and she was in charge of sales. So her goal was to get to more networking events where she could let people know what she does, meet other people, get referrals, etc. So I asked her how she could commit to this. And at first she couldn't see how. And then as we started to explore it, she thought, well, I could ask my husband to do some of the driving. I could connect with other parents. And voila, she did. And honestly, they were happy to help. And she joined a local networking group. Not only did she double her sales, but she became president of that group. What do you need to say no to say yes to what you want? And finally, your emotional environment. This is all about what makes you feel good and positive. Things like music, working out, family time, podcasts. Like this one. Doesn't this just lift you up? I gotta tell you, I feel increased when I'm recording these. Think of it as your feel-good soundtrack to hitting your goals. What would be on that playlist? One of the things that really makes a difference for me for my emotional environment is my morning routine. I usually wake up around 5:30 and have a cup of coffee. I always start with coffee. Then I join my clients on my morning call where we write our goals. I do some teaching and we do a visualization. This impacts the rest of my day because I start with absorbing positive and meaningful content. What you are doing is creating a space for your goal to grow. You know, sometimes we move a plant from a small pot to a bigger one so that it has room to grow. That's what this is. And sometimes the changes, not even sometimes, can I be honest with you? Most of the time, the changes are slight and they make a huge impact. Thank you so much for listening to Possibilities. We want to know what you think about the show. Write a review, leave a rating, like and follow the show in your podcast player of choice. And if you really love it, and if someone came to mind as you were listening to this, share it with them. You can also connect with me personally in my Facebook group, Hina Success Circle. There's lots of free resources in there and information about the show and my work. So if you haven't joined, join. The link is in the episode description. I will be back next week with a brand new episode. Until then, stay grateful. This episode was produced by Stephanie Phillips, presented by the Frequency Podcast Network.